So the lesson here is that if you buy American equipment, you get something that is much, much better than the Americans tell you. And if you buy Russian equipment, you get a pile of garbage that doesn't work and costs you a lot of money and makes you look like a clown.
Hello and welcome to TVP World. I know you may think that this kind of films provide no information about the frontline situation or about the way that this Russian war on Ukraine is conducted. But despite the fact that it brings no information about the specific weapon systems nor tactical movement of troops, it shows way more about the frontline reality than one may think of. This young fella is a hero.
Что, ты будешь на линию? С мамой? Да. Маму забираем, Маню, да?
Да, а папа тут.
А папа тут останется. Будет кормить собаку, курей, да?
As those big guys who are evacuating civilians and young heroes like this one from the front lines. Those are true heroes as well. As for the latest frontline info, Bakhmut looks like this now. And no, it is not a new episode of Call of Duty or Battlefield or any other video game. Those are the real videos made by the soldiers, by the iPhones, GoPros and other cameras that they have on them. And as we read in the latest Institute for Study of War, analyzes Bakhmut area is still a place where terrain gains, counted in hundreds of meters, are something that is being reported by the officials. And that itself gives us the idea about the nature of fight that takes place over there.
Ukrainian Eastern Group of Forces spokesperson Colonel Serhiy Chervaty stated that Ukrainian forces advanced up to 500 meters in the Bakhmut direction in the past day and continued to attack Russian flanks. The Russian Ministry of Defense claimed that Russian airborne forces made marginal advances but acknowledged continued Ukrainian counterattacks against Bakhmut's flanks near Bogdanivka, 5 kilometers northwest of Bakhmut, and Ivanytske, 6 kilometers west of Bakhmut.
And that's the Bakhmut drone view from last 24 hours. As we look and as we follow those information, we are also following the takeaways of what happened over Kiev lately, because the rocket barrage and missile barrage and the attempts of Russia to destroy the Patriot batteries are something that the whole military world is watching right now. The key military issue that grabs the attention of the observers lately is exactly this. And this is the case of killjoy missiles being destroyed by the US-made Patriot anti-missile systems. As we know, all killjoys used against Ukraine lately were destroyed by the Ukrainian anti-missile fire. Of course, Russia claims, as always, that their attack on Patriot missile launchers were successful. But the fact that the engineers, the Russian engineers that designed this alleged Ruski's Wunderwaffe were detained under the charges of treason tells us more than any statement by the Soviet-style TASS cables.
As wartime Russia experiences a surge in treason cases, the arrests for high treason of 3 Russian academics who work on hypersonic missile technology on the same faculty in Siberia have drawn a rare public outcry from Russia's scientific community. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Wednesday that the men were facing very serious accusations but declined to provide further details.
The whole Patriot killjoy, which is the NATO codename for killjoy debate, is boiling on social media platforms, mainly on Twitter, and as we know, Thomas Theiner is following everything about this war on a daily basis, and he is in constant contact with everyone who is basically tweeting anything about it. Here's what Thomas Theiner tweeted about this epic failure of Russian missile attack operation.
Why PAC-2 is useless for Ukraine. Russia attacked Kiev's PAC-3 battery with 18 Kinjal, Kalib and Iskander missiles. PAC-3 shot 100% down. If it had been a PAC-2 battery, then only 50% of the Russian missiles would have been intercepted and the battery would have been destroyed.
And as this is a part of a broader discussion about missile defense of Ukraine, this is exactly what we are going to talk about on my show. My name is Rachon, this is Rachon, and we roll in. So, our first guest tonight is Thomas C. Theiner. As our viewers know, one of the best experts on the military equipment, military strategy, military tactics, pretty everything that is related to the wartime reality that we are witnessing. Thomas Theiner, welcome back to TVP World. Thomas, you tweeted a lot about what happened. So let's start with the basic question. What are your takeaways from what we have found out after this barrage of missiles, killjoy missiles trying to destroy Patriot systems in Ukraine?
Well, it's a very classic lesson. The Americans never tell what their weapons really can do. And the Russians always exaggerate, hide, lie about what their weapons can do. We knew that the Patriot system is really good and can shoot down ballistic missiles. But the Americans were always like, yeah, it's good, but you know, we don't really tell you how good. And now we saw it's very, very good. And whatever the Russians threw at it, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, air-launched ballistic missiles, the Patriot shot down everything. So the lesson here is that if you buy American equipment, you get something that is much, much better than the Americans tell you. And if you buy Russian equipment, you get a pile of garbage that doesn't work and costs you a lot of money and makes you look like a clown. So the lesson here is that if you buy American equipment, you get something that is much, much better than the Americans tell you. And if you buy Russian equipment, you get a pile of garbage that doesn't work and costs you a lot of money and makes you look like a clown.
So the lesson here is that if you buy American equipment, you get something that is much, much better than the Americans tell you. And if you buy Russian equipment, you get a pile of garbage that doesn't work and costs you a lot of money and makes you look like a clown.